brands, so many companies, so many people are really missing the opportunity with the email newsletter. And we do focus more on the news aspect of it. We focus on the newsletter as a distribution strategy for other pieces of content. And we focus far less on the letter. And the way that I think about it is it's a letter. It's an opportunity to speak directly to one person in one inbox and what at one time. And as writers, we all know this concept, right? Write to one person, your prose will be stronger. The more specific you can make it, as long as you're hitting on universal themes, ultimately, the more relatable your content will be, your writing will be, the more universally it will be, loved. And so the notion of taking that same concept that we've all, sort of, embodied as writers and pushing it into or applying it to my email newsletter, it was such a game changer for me. And you've got to say why it matters to you, why it matters to your audience. Why am I sharing this? And so I always add that element. And then I layer on a little bit of my own voice, and I want it to feel distinct and I want it to feel, relatable. The test that I always have with any piece of content, but especially an email newsletter, is to cover up the logo. If you were to cover up the from line on your email newsletter when it goes out, if you were to cover up the logo on the top or wherever it is on your in your design when somebody opens it, and you read it out loud, like, does it sound like you as a writer, or does it sound like maybe, I don't know, anybody speaker at your summit today? So I want it to be just me. Like, I want you to recognize my voice. And the best compliment that I could ever get, and I hear this, week in and week out when I publish, is it felt like you were writing just to me. Even the social networks are getting into email newsletters. Twitter just acquired Review, which is a newsletter publishing platform. At which point Facebook was like, we're going to build our own newsletter platform as well. Wow. LinkedIn actually already has a newsletter platform embedded in their own in their own system, which I didn't even know. It's like it wasn't until Twitter and Facebook announced it, and then LinkedIn was like, hey, we have that too. So all that to say, the social platforms even are realizing that, wow, there's real power in the email newsletter. When you sign up for my email newsletter, you get an autoresponder that comes directly from me that I wrote that says, hi, welcome, you're my newest subscriber. What brought you here, essentially, and what did you hope to learn? And I invite you to respond to that email. Now, that choice is very strategic for two reasons. Number one, yes, I do want to know what people hope to learn from me, because it helps inform the content that I will share in future issues. But the second reason is also very practical from a deliverability standpoint, because when they respond to me, they're signaling to their email client that this is important. They are, and it's more likely to be in their direct inbox. So if they get it on Gmail, for example, it'll be in their primary inbox. So that's why you want to try to create those moments of reciprocity within your own email newsletter, because the more that your audience interacts with you, like hits respond, like I say right there, hit reply and tell me, right? And so the more that they interact with you, the more likely it will be that your newsletters will be delivered, and that they'll wind up really where you want them to be, which is right in front of the people who matter.